Today's session is starting around 3500, and this area is really important when we look, for example, on the monthly chart. We've been rejected from higher prices every time so far, so for 3 months now, and now is the fourth attempt to establish some trading above. If we look at the weekly chart, it's really similar. It's been rejected with two big wicks from the upside to selling tails, and now we are going to make our another attempt, and this is really extended, but on the other hand we made some weaker shorts on the way down, so those are fueling the up move. Last 2 days look like P shape, but yesterday wasn't that perfect P shape because we didn't establish trading range through the day, but we had one auction to the upside and second to the downside, so there wasn't balance here in the afternoon, so that isn't a perfect example of a P shape. Anyway, now we are trading above this smaller balance range, and we are within striking distance to this recovery highs and even to all-time highs. So it depends how the trading will develop. We are now going to open with another gap to the upside, and let me reset this chart. So we have one gap here, second here, here is going to be third one, which is excessive, but we've seen even more gaps previously. I'm trying to find a recent one. Here we have 1, 2, 3, 4 gaps to the upside, so we can still gap tomorrow or in a few days. However, I should really look what's developing today. So overnight is trending to the upside. We've established some balance zones on the way up, so I will monitor how the trading develops with regards to those distributions. Well, even 4 distributions, if we count this area as 2 distributions with lower and upper one, it's really visible on the volume profile. So my early plan is to wait for an early attempt to fill the gap. So far we've seen it yesterday and 2 days ago that an early attempt was really shallow, and for example just dipping below latest pullback low from the overnight. So if we have this happening today, I should be a buyer around 30.90, which is quite risky with such an extended move to the upside, but it's the play. We've been bouncing from half gaps 2 times now, so if we open around here, the half gap will be around 34.88, and I wait for retracement back to this area. If we fill the gap, then I should monitor if we build some volume below yesterday's high and acceptance. Perfectly would be if we dip lower, make a pullback with some higher volume lower and short the pullback against for example yesterday's high, view up, or some other references. I'll be targeting this middle part of overnight distribution and point of control from yesterday. Below that is there are single prints from overnight, and this is an area that was defended early on in the yesterday's session, and later this area represents the top of the bounce in M period, which is, if we divide this, if we split the profile as a one action to the downside, it's going to be single prints in L period, which was reactive early in the overnight. So I think that if we get down here, it might be a responsive area. If we retrace entire value area from yesterday, then there is not much left to the downside, so we might accelerate lower, but I'm not sure we can do this today. And to the upside, if we make an early exhaustive move to the upside and come back into overnight range, then depending how big excess we'll get, I'd like to short to get lower first to this volume point of control from overnight, and later to fill the gap and maybe trade lower. And besides that, I'm not sure if I can enter long on any pullback above overnight high. If I'd better enter longs if we made some early move to the downside to correct some of the inventory that fails, and then enter longs. I'd like to see us having a little bit narrower initial balance, because those last days were very hard for me to trade. I tried shorting and exited again at the worst prices in I period, when H attempted lower and I period did get back here into G period's range. I exited my short, and it was similar price action as the day before, when the longs were getting tired and were exiting slowly from their positions. I tried really small stops to the long side after K period cleaned IJ lows, because we had a poor looking high, and later in L period, I think, but those weren't profitable. I think I scratched one and I lost another. So if we trade in a similar fashion like yesterday, I will be missing most of the opportunities, or probably the entire day. There are some external factors that are really messing up with my mental state, so I should be really cautious trading today. And one side note, before each session I should find similar sessions and review them, so I can better prepare what can happen during the day. It would be perfect to have some tool so I could filter out, for example, days with that are opening higher than previous day and have them listed. And for example, if I click on any given day, I can see how it looked like. I could replay the entire session and draw some conclusions. But as it would be best if Sierra could have such functionality, but I'm really skeptical that they can pull this off. So I'll try to make this in discretionary way by just storing multiple days in with screenshots and reviewing them, but need to build a database of trading days and label them. Maybe Evernote will be a good way to store them and tag them, because the Evernote has tags, so I can easily search through them. But I need to have a separate Evernote account to not to mess up with my other stuff. So well, that was really big off topic, but I wanted to remember this in the future.